All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are going to begin with our academic banquet. We apologize for the delay in our start time, but we had two events simultaneously, but we are going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Daniel Garvey, and I'm the Executive Director of Lorain High School, and I just want to welcome you all to our academic banquet. This is a special moment at Lorain High School to celebrate our students' academic excellence. This event has become a favorite LHS tradition. From its beginnings at Admiral King, and no offense to the Southview folks, but this came from Admiral King, and one I have looked forward to greatly this year. Any of our students can tell you that sustained academic achievement is a long, interesting, at times frustrating, yet tremendously rewarding process. It is rarely done alone and requires a great deal of support and collaboration from classmates and parents, as well as faculty and staff, and we're thankful that all of you stakeholders are able to be with us tonight. Individually and collectively, the students we honor today embody the best of our school through their achievement and the hard work, dedication, and engagement it represents. Through our program this evening, you will have a chance to hear from our students and from one of our parents. We look forward to benefiting from their reflections. Please join me in applauding all of our outstanding students, as well as the parents, faculty, and staff who have guided and supported them in their academic pursuits. Congratulations to all our honorees and best wishes for much continued success. At this time, if you would please rise, we are going to have our LHS JROTC present the color guard. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, we are going to invite up our first student speaker, who will be sharing with us some of her reflections in regards to our school, teachers, and staff. If I could invite up Liana Torres to share with you her reflections.
I was asked to come up here to speak about our school's teachers and staff. And although there are many things to say about them, I'm only going to shed light on a few. I'm going to share my perspective of student and teacher relations here at our school. The faculty and students of Lorain High have a family-like bond, and I've had the privilege and honor to become a part of it. When I came to the new Lorain High School as a sophomore, I knew there was going to be brand new opportunities for me to grow educationally. In order for me to grow educationally, I knew I needed teachers who were willing to go the extra mile to help me if I was having trouble with my work. Mr. Donnelly was my Algebra 2 Honors and Trig Honors teacher for my sophomore and junior year. Mr. Donnelly has taught me that although growing up is hard, all I have to do is suck it up and keep moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Donnelly, for taking that extra mile. Thank you for being there when I needed you. Mrs. DeFranco is and will always be a great friend of mine. Although her job gets hard at times, she still pushes through with a smile on her face and a pep in her step. Thank you, Mrs. DeFranco, for being an amazing role model for us students and for staying true to who you are. Thank you, Mrs. Pileski, for always having a smile on your face and for being a bright light in this dark world. Thank you, Mr. Clark, for always making me laugh and for making me dig deeper into my creativity. Thank you, Mr. Fike, for making physical science a blast and for the Bill Nye the Science Guy videos. Thank you, Mr. Cawthon, for putting a twist on history and making it fun to learn. Thank you for being a voice for our teachers and our students, and thank you for teaching me to stand up for what I believe in and to not be afraid to speak up. Thank you, Mr. Mazie, for preparing me for college, for helping me extend my vocabulary, and for teaching me to always scrutinize, scrutinize, scrutinize. Thank you, Ms. Bohr, for allowing me to aid for you and for being an outstanding teacher. I've mentioned only a few of my teachers, but there are many that I am very thankful for. To the teachers that I have not mentioned, and to the teachers who I don't know, thank you for the lessons that you teach, for all the advice that you give, for the extra time after school, for the outstretched hands to aid in a child's personal struggles, and for being an asset to Lorain High. Thank you to every teacher who says good morning to me or smiles at me when I pass them in the hallway. It fills me with a sense of belonging. As I graduate and move on with my life, I will never forget that my teachers are a part of my success. Now, I've mentioned the amazing teaching staff that we have at Lorain High, but what about the portion of the faculty that is often overlooked by the students and some of the adults? I am a student who sees situations differently. What would a school be without lunch workers to serve the students? It would be a madhouse full of hungry teenagers. I want to recognize every single lunch worker who prepares, cooks, and serves food to us. Their specialties are not highlighted in the classroom, but they are truthfully highlighted in the kitchen. Thank you for picking up the trash that people leave in the lunchroom. Thank you for dealing with rude kids in the morning and the afternoon. Your work is noticed and it is greatly appreciated. Every time I come to school, the classrooms are cleaned, the bathrooms are tidy, and the hallways are spotless. Why is that? That is because we have custodians who walk into every classroom and cleans them. They clean the bathrooms, and when somebody's locker smells funky, they find the root of the smell and they clean it out. So thank you to every custodian who keeps our school looking spectacular. Thank you to the security guards who work hard to keep our school in order. Thank you for keeping us in check and protecting us. Thank you to the guidance department for helping the students schedule their classes and for providing scholarship opportunities for us seniors. Ms. Danzo and Mrs. Falensky, thank you for helping us apply for college and for being so amazing at your jobs. Thank you to the nurses who take care of our cuts and scrapes and our bumps and bruises. Please forgive me if I forgot to mention anyone. Finally, to wrap up my speech, I know I've been up here for a while, but there is something unique about the faculty and staff of Lorain High. Although they are all different and they all have different abilities, they're still able to come together as one and provide a safe, healthy, clean, educational, encouraging, fun, and home-like environment for the students. Even though I am graduating, I will always remember where I come from. When I leave, I will not say goodbye to Lorain High. I will say until then, because I will come back to visit and reminisce with my teachers. I know when I come back, I will be welcomed with open arms as I am now. Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak about our wonderful faculty and staff.
Thank you very much, Liana, for that beautiful tribute, and of course you will be welcome back here in the future. At this time, we are going to transition to our dinner, much awaited dinner. It looks delicious. Before we begin with the dinner, we want to give a special thanks to Ms. Mull and Ms. Tara Dahlhausen and our entire culinary group that has prepared this food. If we could give them an applause, please. If you could please wait at your table patiently, and one of the representatives from the Culinary Arts Group will be coming to your table and inviting you to pass up here. There are going to be two lines, one on the left-hand side and one on the right. Enjoy your food, and we'll be with you shortly after dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue with our program. I know that some of you are still eating. Please feel free to continue to eat and drink as we call our students up for the presentation of awards. Calling our students, we have our two esteemed guidance counselors. We have Miss Stacy Danzo and Mrs. Trina Felinsky. Just to give you some instructions for students as you're called up, if you could please come up and approach this front table, you'll receive your certificate, and then if you'd step here to my left-hand side, and you'll have your picture taken by Mr. Bach in front of the LH on my left-hand side.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Danzo, and I'm the CCP counselor here at the high school. First up are our freshmen for the first year awards. First, we have Elena Amador, Danielle Bauer, Nathaniel Gomez, Ayana Harris, Chloe Karpinski. Sorry. Okay. Skipped you. Julian Martinez, Nayeli Martinez, Alejandro Puente, Deanna Rodriguez, and Alacia Sannon. Those are our freshman first year awards. Sorry about that. I'll slow down. All right. Next up are our sophomores. So these are our sophomore first year awards. Tariana Ammons, Brianna Chapman, Dominic Delapola, Kiara Felici, Antonio Rojas, Alexis Melendez, Pablo Oquendo, Micaiah Owens, Alexis Perez, Jadriana Santiago, and Kiara Williams. These are our first year sophomore award winners. Next up are our sophomore second year award winners. And these students will receive not only their certificate, but also a L letter for that could be put on a jacket or just as a keepsake, as well as the lamp pin. Okay, so our second year sophomores are Jersey Beard, Jennifer Caesar. Jimmy Gallegos. Micaiah Herman. Xavier Hernandez. Stacia Matias. Sebastian Otero. Deniza Wade. And Kirsten Wysocki. These are our second-year sophomore awards. All right, next up we have our juniors. So our first-year award juniors are Tyrus Brewer, Nathan Kasner, Jonathan Garnica, Anthony Miller, Sabia Mirza, Megan Roden, Jay Rivera, Xavier Robita, Yasel Valdez, Ryan Williams, Aaron Wood, and Tiara Wyatt. These are our first-year junior awards. All right, our second-year juniors are Luciana Bustamante, Aiden Curry, Adiola Fasola, Kamar Halil, Tyler Larson, go ahead, Josie Leahy, Giselle Romero, Chantel Shannon, Andre Taylor, and Ronaldo Velasquez. Look how nice you are. These are our second-year juniors. Our third-year students will receive the same letter, but the pin will be a gold bar. So our third-year juniors are Sundis Deef, Trent Jackson, Angela Manasiva, David Merchant, Jacob Salisbury, Claire Smith, Joshua Soto, and Joseph Vaughn. And these are our third-year juniors.
I'm Trina Falensky, and I'm going to now announce the seniors. First year senior awards, Glory Chevrolet, Kyle Zatt, Lavelle Hall, Emily Negron, Daniel Ortiz, Caitlin Ramey Rowland, Kiera Riggins, Eddie Santiago, Jadiel Soto, Liana Torres, and Marianne Vasquez. Second year award seniors, Jamalex Claudio, Angela Figueroa, Tyler Gargas, Marquintez Graham, Gabriella Jackson, Zachary Keene, Harley Ann McQuaid, Maya Ritchie, Julissa Vargas, Tejana Whitfield. Omar Vargas, third year award, Naya Espedia, Alexis Garcia. Kalia Mayer. Christian Otero. Fabian Perez. Angela Valdez. Jasmine Vasquez. Fourth year award seniors will receive a plaque with their name on it. Azaria Blair. Hannah Hilko. Carissa Holcomb. Molly Codman. Marlena Lavoy. Demaya Leva. Alana Lopez. Karina Medina. Olivia Nimine. Allison Otero. Maya Pappas. And Isabella Teeter. Congratulations to our fourth year winners.
This concludes our awards for the students. If we could get one more round of applause for all of our award recipients. At this time, we have another one of our student speakers who will be talking about our community and family. With you, Ryan Williams.
Just a heads up. Good. Just a heads up, any sudden noise you hear from the back is baseball practice. Almost said basketball. I missed it, I'm sorry. But, yeah. Lorain, Ohio. Some mediocre shanty town that resides somewhere along Lake Erie's touch. A place where the scholars barely even know how to read. Some ghost town, crippled by the industrial change with the steel mill. Nothing thrives there. Or so they thought. Looking behind the ragged curtain of reputation, the very people in this room stand gleaming, performing at such a high level, some truly unexpected. My ability to get up here and give this speech is not entirely a product of my own works, but of Lorain and its schooling system. This is not the only living piece of evidence towards Lorain's successes either. I'm certain you can muster something. The 36 on the ACT. at the International Festival, during Community Service Day, the Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, D.C. We have had presence in all things community, not because of student affairs only, but the wonderful community behind it and its immense support. Much like the average family, we ourselves may not have the perfect chemistry, but when the job needs to be done and the night draws near, we are together in arms. Our community yearns for us to continue and to become a better society. And without that, we would have no destination, no home, no motivation. We are who we are because Lorain has given us its name and love. Our abilities are bolstered by the continuous presence of the very family, friends, mentors, mentees, counselors, board members, committees, and everything all the way up to the CEO in this very room. We are rooted for from the bleachers and sidelines, and we will never give up the drive. The bonds and relationships we have all formed with each other here are the strongest anyone can experience. Brothers and sisters, after tribulation time and time again, we are battle-hardened because no hands are reaching to us. We acknowledged that a long time ago. Our coaches and athletes dominate many other scenes, yet others don't even look at us, Our scholars earn degrees, yet none are acknowledged, except for here today. Love you guys. But look around you. We come from bad background, and maybe some bad blood is amongst the few. But don't let that take your attention. Focus on the other 90%, the light in the situation. We are in this together for the rest of the time, friends, for I myself have grown quite fond of this community. Under this one high school, among one of the greatest ghost towns I know, stands the Titans, ready to strike.
Thank you, Ryan, for that very poetic message of Titan pride. Thank you. To close out our program this evening, we have a small innovation that we made to the program this year, which was the inclusion of one of our parents to do the final send-off at this event. So we are going to have with us this evening Mr. Jeff Codman with a message from our parents.
Good evening, everyone. We came together tonight to recognize and celebrate academic achievement of our children. Sadly, for some segments of our society, academic achievement may be a completely unusual and fruitless endeavor. But hopefully, we are here to change that. Many of the students here tonight studied very hard and put in a lot of effort and hours to get the grades required to be in this group here this evening. Some, however, and you and your friends know who you are, have been fortunate enough to put forward much less effort. But, and here's the most important part, all of you decided to make the choice to complete the work that is expected of you as students in each of your classes. We need all of the students in this building to follow your example and choose to do the schoolwork that is expected of them. This one step could quite possibly be the most important step to boosting the academic performance of this high school. As each of you continue along your academic and professional career, you should never fear the burden of high performance. Sometimes people fear perfection because others will expect perfection from them every time. Keep in mind this one idea I always remind my children. The only person you are always competing with is yourself. Your personal best, not someone else's scores, yours. There are so many problems to be solved out there in the world, and you need to be the solution. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you to Mr. Codman for that message, and I appreciate how he's looking to you all, those who've been recognized tonight, to be the change for this high school, to be the ones who change the narrative about our building and will inspire others in our building to be right here next year this time, and we hope that all of you, excluding our seniors, will be here once again as well. With this, we conclude our program. Thank you all for being in attendance. Please, you can head out through these back doors as soon as you're ready. Thank you again for being here this evening. Have a good night.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.